All right, good evening, everyone. So, I've been waiting to start this for a while, especially since I did get access to a DS emulator, so now I can finally do some other games that I wanted to do. One of which is going to be this one right here, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. This is the fourth game in the Ace Attorney series. A while back, I did the first three games as part of the Ace Attorney trilogy that came out on Steam. This one, however, I'm doing this one completely blind, as opposed to the previous three. I've beaten the fifth game, Dual Destinies, and have made it partway through the sixth game, Spirit of Justice. But this one, like I said, completely blind for me, so wish me luck in solving the mysteries here, huh? Okay, episode 1, Turnabout Trump. Lol. Okay. Showdown time. You lose. Oh. Oh. All right. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. And like most cases, we're thrust right into it. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Panic, palms sweaty. I can admit it, I'm nervous. Mom spaghetti. Oh, good morning. Oh, who's this, like, Byakuya Light? Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, huh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. Oh? We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. Okay. The first 3 games in the series revolved around Phoenix Wright. So now we're suddenly thrust into the shoes of a different protagonist. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today's my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way! Oh. Who's this? Who's this dude? Whoa! Huh. Good morning? Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. This is the client? He's the accused? I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're... Fine. I'm fine! Oh, Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me. Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why... You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay. I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. Same old judge. Well, the court is now in session. Oh, hey, Payne, you have a new do, I see. How did I do his voice before? I'm trying to think. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Yeah, there it is. Yes. The defense is fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mine going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression you'd be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course, he wants justice. But to entrust his cases to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Okay, there he is. Or whoever this bum is. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Excuse me? Let's put the past behind us, shall... No. You're gonna drop a bomb on us this early? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. That's Phoenix? Holy shit. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? Okay, then. This just got a lot more interesting. I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne? Vic, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head! Smack! Killed him cold. Customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was the pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright? A pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Quote unquote. Totally not wine. ESRB and all that shit. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. Quote unquote. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I am confident in your ability to handle this. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Giggity. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who is this, Shoddy Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he's been out of the country for a number of years. He'd only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant. That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they'd only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? It's a crime in and of itself. What? Oh, really? Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. And impress women. That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Phoenix? Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it, my first trial. Here goes nothing. All right. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy. A pianist who cannot play piano? They're the defense attorney you can't defend. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Game for a refresher course? You know, I don't think I need one. This isn't my first rodeo. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you better do more than think. You know it or you do not. Okay, Yoda. I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, to it. Inconsistencies. Lies. Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Alright, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I can hardly play. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I'm a professional, after all. Yeah, do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Ooh, burn. What? I played poker for 7 years in that low room. And I've never lost once. You see why the customers come now. Defeat the undefeated poker champion. Oh, so you're like Coyote and Celeste all rolled into one. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? We're playing the competition in there with club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past. Things like the black market only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room? Gambling hoods? You know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through a small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they came to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks. Yeah, that's a simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Oh, where do you see those? I'm not... Are they below the speech window? Oh yeah, I see them now. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the audience, from the defense. No, I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Oh, yes. So his fingerprints are on it, and yet he says he never touched it. Why would he... You look... Smith's autopsy. Time of death was around 2 a.m., April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. The sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Okay. Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just... Now, what was it? Evidence that contradicts the testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? But why? I better check the court record. Way ahead of you. Hey, cats. Okay. Say, I never touched the murder weapon. Okay. This is probably it. There we go. Yeah, I'll have to see. So you say you didn't touch this murder weapon, this grape juice, quote-unquote, bottle. Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see. It was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he... Oh, they would prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Oh, I see what you mean. Like, he used it... He was holding the... like a club. And there could be only one reason for that. Yeah. Yes. To braid someone with a bottle. Oh! Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court. I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. What's Phoenix? If this is our boy Phoenix, what is his angle here? Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still, that... self-reported? Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? So not at the scene. Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement, 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call? Oh, really? I tried the cheeseburger pizza from there too, and to be honest, did. Of course, in my case, it's probably because they didn't put pickles on it, but that's just me. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet, he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative. Ugh. Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... Oh, really? It is sausage they put on it, not ground beef, as I would have assumed. What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room at the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up until now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Huh? Who the heck are you? The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? She's kind of cowering behind the witness stand, I think. I surmise she's been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come on out. Oh god, Judge is simping for her already, isn't he? Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you're sure it's okay. Alright. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... My name is Olga Orley. I'm employed as a waitress in the Borscht Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it's my pride to serve borscht at its naming restaurant. But I also perform how it is said other service. Excuse me? I take it one of those other services is taking the customers' pictures? Da. Like, for example, this one. Oh, I see. That's the defendant. Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput? Indeed. That is the victim. Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually. That probably doesn't get you very many tips. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout as we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is room where famous gangster Bad Guy was arrested. Oh, okay, bad guy. Okay. Bad guy. Is room where murder took place. What? Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will host by courtroom door later for you. Da. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shoddy Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orley are witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Does that mean she did it? Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Locket, huh? Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Wait, no, bullshit. I thought we established he died from a blow to the head, not strangulation. Okay, I'm calling bullshit on your testimony already. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious the winner was the victim, Mr. Smith? Objection! That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hasn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case in my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Huh? What? These are the poker chips they play as they lay at the very moment of the crime. Meaning, the handed chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not a poker aficionado, so I hope you're not going to depend on me. I hope this case doesn't depend on me knowing a lot about poker. Yeah, I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as, the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Oh, I'm looking at this picture. It does seem most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Okay, so he was betting pretty heavily. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Okay. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? Da, I'm doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is warm as with waitresses. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da. It's already April. How could it be cold? Well, I mean... At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Okay, that I kind of am interested in hearing about. His locket. I believe it was good luck charm, da. He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though, if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. Doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? So what happened next? Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da? Something terrible? Ah! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Albus, Orly, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. Da, I trembled with fear. That Ben flew at victim and is strangling him to death. But the defendant would never do such a thing. Well, now I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please, refrain from embarrassing me. Perhaps it is because defendant has lost game? Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the night of the murder. The victim, Shoddy Smith, Mr. Wright, and... if Mr. Wright isn't the killer... I've got you now, Orly. Now wait, can I still... Okay, I can. I mean, I'm gonna go with what's most obvious at this point. Oh, wait, and that's not it. Okay, come on. Okay. Death was caused by a blow to the forehead. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean this report shows the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yeah, it's a fact he was hit, Your Honor. Oh. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. So does this mean his hat was put back on him after the fact? Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There is such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop being it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. That night, customer asked me to do cards for game. I played with hats on. After the defendant tried to strangle victim, he hit him with bottle. You didn't say anything about hitting before. So sorry, I must be forgetting this, da? Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony. Oh, I'm sorry, That clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind, and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. So he strangled him, then he hit him. Something's fishy about all this. Go ahead, I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. Okay, the new piece of evidence that was introduced. Photo of forehead. Hat removed during investigation. But wait. Okay, I got you now. What do you... Oh, no? I don't think that was it. Because if... No, if his hat was off... Does the picture indicate his hat was off when he was attacked? Wait. Whole time with his hand on the locket. The locket's gone! Okay, I see it. Oh, so you did have to do it after all. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on his locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you're about to go raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. Hell yeah! Ultimate detective, bitch! If I were to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket's gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Huh. The killer, presumably. Apparently it held some meaning to them. Taking it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. Oh, he was trying to take the locket. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Yes. Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say. Yes. I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Is that it? Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket. With a photograph inside. Oh, Phoenix. A photo of my daughter! Phoenix has a daughter now? Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too. Why don't I buy this is just a coincidence? Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly. Is it, though? Ms. Orley? You will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Da. Oh boy. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who is winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. All the chips. Is this gonna require I know a lot about poker? The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I done in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done. Common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so his testimony must be wrong. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, the total would be... exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Are the chips in this photo all of the chips that were used? Okay, this is gonna be important. Of course! Something's fishy with those chips. Hell yeah, we press harder. Maybe you could explain a bit about those chips. Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cop. Not a... Thanks. Now that I pressed her, I better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yet, as I've been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chip. 100 points chip and 1,000 points chip. Okay. It is not money, Justice? Sir? Don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defendant want the witness to add to her testimony? Yeah, we're going for it. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to her testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth 100 points, other kind is worth 1,000. Two kinds in all. Okay, so let's look at that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, presuming the larger chips are the 1,000 point chips, that is a lot more than 7,000 worth that just the opponent has. Let me listen to the rest, though. The one who is winning, da, it was victim. You're telling me that Mr. Wright, undefeated for 7 whole years, was losing? Da, it must have been most unlucky day for him. I'm glad I did not take other picture of him. It would break camera, certainly. The chips, they went always to victim's side of table. Sir Tellius, it was a one-sided game? Da, one-sided, and... For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. Last hand. It was largest points of any hand. The defendant's hand, it was excellent. He tried to use it to take victory from behind. It appears that both the defendant and the victim's hands are in this picture. Yeah, and it's inconsistent. That is truly an excellent hand, however, so is the victim's. One with highest number wins, so defendant loses. The victim, Mr. Smith, had a stronger hand than the defendant and crushed him. I believe that explains what occurred next. Once cards lay down on table, it happened. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... And what happened next? Even to think of it now, I shake and tremble, da. I do not believe such thing would happen. What such thing? Please, you must believe. I had no idea. How could such thing occur? What such thing? The defendant had been hitting victim. I saw it all happen right before me. I saw bottle coming down on victim's head. Decisive, isn't it, Your Honor? My witness saw the very moment of the crime. Remember, your first goal is to gather information. Yes, sir. Look out, contradiction. Here comes justice. So I'm seeing a few different things. And I think it has to do with... Again, hopefully this doesn't have to do with knowing too much about poker. No, I don't think that was it. I know... I'm pretty sure it has to do with that. Yeah, that 3,500 limit. There we go. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure? It seems our new attorney's a bit confused. A glance at the pictures enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten. Unless... Oh, wait. Maybe... Are you gonna pull one on me and say that the smaller red tokens are actually worth more than the larger black ones? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Oh, that's the assumption we were led to ride on. I'll bet. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. Yeah, I saw that discrepancy as well. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Okay, with this fresh new revelation, give me a few seconds. I'll be back with you in a few minutes.